It is uncommon for a horse to be present at funerals, but the one here was not unnoticed. It appeared as if it also felt sad about the death and approached the car with his head hung low. Sereno, the name of Wagner de Lima Figueiredo's favorite horse, was also very fond of him. Figueiredo had been a semi-pro cowboy and would often have taken part in roping competitions to win cash prizes. When he wasn't in the saddle though, the equestrian worked as a local authority clerk in his hometown of Paraíba, Brazil. At the same time, tragedy struck. Meanwhile, Figueiredo had owned Sereno for 8 years, enough time for the pair to become very close. Indeed, in an image of the pair together posted to Facebook in November 2016, Figueiredo described the animal as "my horse, my friend."
Also, if you've not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these animal stories every day. Now, back to the story.
Sereno was so beautiful, moreover, that many people had offered to buy the white stallion, but there was no way Figueiredo was going to let his favorite horse go. He always refused to sell him. Figueiredo, his brother Wando de Lima, told the Daily Mail in January 2017. Wagner's life was his horse, de Lima continued. He had a passion and a great love for him. Sometimes he would even stop buying things for himself to make sure he could afford to buy horse feed. It's safe to say then that Figueiredo and Sereno were completely inseparable. However, their beautiful relationship was sadly cut short when Figueiredo was involved in a motorcycle accident on New Year's Day 2017. He had been riding his bike along the beach when he lost control. And while the cowboy underwent emergency surgery, sadly, he still succumbed to his injuries. Naturally then, Figueiredo's grieving family organized a funeral for him, so loved ones could come and pay tribute. Because of the close friendship Figueiredo had with Sereno though, de Lima made sure that the stallion would be present at the funeral as well. Indeed, de Lima wanted to pay tribute to Figueiredo's interest in everything equine. Certainly, he knew how important a horse is to a cowboy because he too is one. On the day of the funeral, Sereno was among the fellow mourners at the ceremony, but when Figueiredo's casket arrived in the back of a car, something amazing happened. It appeared, in fact, that the horse knew his best friend was in there, and when the vehicle came to a stop, the stallion sniffed around the casket before carefully laying his head on it. It was as though Sereno knew that this would be the last chance he'd have to be close to his former owner. Like everyone else at the funeral, it seemed the horse was grieving too. Recalling the moving scenes in January 2017, one eyewitness told the dodo that Sereno began to walk around the coffin, smelling the coffin. Then he neighed. It was a very strong emotion. Everyone who was there was moved. I cried myself when I saw that scene. And the horse's outpouring of emotion didn't end there. He was also seen stamping his hooves, whinnying, and was heard giving out a mournful whimper throughout proceedings. This horse was everything to him. It was as if the horse knew what was happening and wanted to say goodbye. De Lima added to Global News in January 2017. Meanwhile, family friend Francilia Limiero was astonished to see just how deeply Sereno seemed to be missing his late friend. As she explained to the Daily Mail, it was an unbelievable thing to see the way the horse behaved. If I hadn't been there, I wouldn't have believed it myself. As we brought the coffin out at the beginning of the funeral, Sereno sounded like he was crying. And as if he recognized that his owner was finally leaving him, Lumiere added, he pounded the ground with his hooves and kept whinnying. It was very sad. Yet, regardless of how unusual Sereno's behavior seems, it's not totally unknown that in Brazilian Horse Riding Federation member Marcelo Servos, for one, has stated that equines are more than capable of mourning a human's death. I've seen more fantastic stories than this, and I'm sure this can happen. I do not say it happened specifically in this case, but it is possible. He told the Daily Mail. Following this ceremony, Sereno marched with other mourners to Figueiredo's final resting place. The cowboy was laid to rest in the nearby city of Casas. And it was there that the horse and the rest of the funeral goers were able to say one final goodbye to their loved one. In addition, Sereno's heartfelt reaction to the death of his owner has garnered quite a bit of media attention. Indeed, not only have news outlets in Figueiredo's native Brazil covered the story, but those in the US, UK, and Sweden have done so too. Meanwhile, video footage of the funeral has been viewed over 1 million times on YouTube, and many viewers were so moved by the video that they shared their feelings in the accompanying comments. When my aunt passed at home, her dog knew. She kept crying and would not eat. This is when I knew animals have feelings. So sad, read one. Still, while Sereno deals with his sad loss, he won't be left alone. He will go on to be rehomed with Figueiredo's brother, and De Lima has vowed to take care of the horse in a manner that would make his sibling proud. Wagner will stay with our family forever, he told the Daily Mail. So, while he's grieving, at least Sereno will be surrounded by his wider family. And perhaps even in time, the horse will come to terms with his loss and maybe even be able to look back fondly on his time with Figueiredo. Certainly, though Sereno's behavior seems to show how much emotion animals can feel, even if they don't share it with us all the time.